Welcome to Tekedia Daily. I'm Ndubuisi Ekekwe. Our conversation today will focus on a prediction that Globacom, the operator of Glo brand in Nigeria, is going to acquire Etisalat Nigeria in 2017. This is a rumor, of course, but this is actually a rumor that when you look at the fundamentals, it makes a lot of sense for these two companies to actually come together. MTN is the market leader in terms of the number of subscribers, according to NCC's May 2017 data. It is enjoying nearly at least more than 20 million subscribers ahead of Glo. And then Etisalat follows, sorry, Airtel follows before Etisalat. So if you combine Glo and Etisalat, what will happen here is that you are still going to be short of the total subscriber capacity of MTN. So it makes a lot of sense if Glo really wants to compete without a lot of discounts, seasonally and I would say continuously offering elite voice products in the market, that it has to increase the total number of subscribers in its ecosystem. So this rumor, it makes a lot of sense, but you need to look at the market dynamics to actually see how this is going to play. There are a lot of increasing level of fragmentation, a lot of new players that are coming into the telecommunication sector in Nigeria. And you look at Facebook and Google, these are marginals, these are round numbers, but they are coming out with these their balloons and drones. If they continue to intensify some of those services, they are going to pull a lot of kind of impact in the inability for some of these telecommunication companies, the big ones, to define exactly what they want to get from the subscribers in terms of pricing. So they can have a lot of significant impacts if they continue to expand that operation. But another one is the satellite companies. You have the Connect Africa, which is moving into Nigeria. Then you also have it Intelsat. And if these satellite companies continuously make Nigeria a base, and you are going to see a very huge factor because the satellite companies can reach rural communities and their cost of operation may actually be better because they don't have to build towers, they don't have to navigate all the challenges that the terrestrial competitors are facing. So if these satellite companies push deeply into Nigeria, there will be a lot of pressure on MTL, Etisalat, Glo, Airtel, and of course the other tier two players. Just like what happened to the old ISPs, and of course the pioneer CDMAs like Borders Telecom and Abbas Starcom and Visafone. Uh, some of these companies could not sustain their operations because the big players like MTL actually use bulk discounting because they have the scale to just knock them out of business. And Nigeria is not a place where you could say let's come together and have a price floor, maybe a minimum amount that you have to charge, maybe for 1 gigabyte of data or 10 gigabyte of data. In short, even if you do that, that may actually be legal. You are not supposed to band together to set price because it's actually against the law of the land. So, but I assume if they can do that, it doesn't usually turn out to work. In the insurance industry, you see, even though they may say they want the minimum price to be 10,000 naira to insure a vehicle, some of these companies, if you give them 3,000 naira, they just write you the invoice, the receipt, because they know technically that if your car has a problem, you are not expected to call them. So they are writing you a check, collecting a check of 3,000 naira from you just to make sure that when the police ask you, do you have insurance, you just show them because that's what the law of the land states. But they don't expect you to actually expect them to deliver a value at 3,000 naira. So I expect the same thing to happen in the telecommunication industry. You know, the price floor, it coming together is not going to work. And that is going to be a very big challenge because the power of MTL is continuously going to be exerted in the market, that he can do a lot of things and get away with it because he had a scale, because economies of scale is working for it. So the challenges of Etisalat are huge. Etisalat is owing about $1.2 billion to the constituent banks, and the parent company is not interested in coming to bail it out. So basically, Etisalat Nigeria has to figure out how to get out of this trouble. And there is no defined way for it to get out of this problem because this money is denominated in hard currency. This is not like Naira. So with the value that we have seen, how Naira has deteriorated against the dollar, Etisalat has to do more in order to actually get dollar to pay banks. It is going to be very hard. We've also heard that Etisalat is offering a 5% equity in lieu for this loan. So if you do the numbers, basically saying that Etisalat is about $24 billion in valuation. So if it is this much, and the banks are not interested, so Etisalat is worth about $24 billion. That means it has to command that amount if it actually wants to be sold over to Glo. So it can't raise the capital because no one is going to invest because the market is extremely very competitive. The over OTT and the WhatsApp issues are still there. People are not really giving these telecommunication companies the naira, even though they are using indirectly the infrastructure to participate in their WhatsApp and so many things they do online. So the average revenue per user has gone down, and this is an industry problem, but Etisalat is also fixing it. And then the consensus, as I noted, in pricing floor is not going to work. So what means here is that we have to look at the value that Etisalat brings. Of course, Etisalat is a premium brand. It is just one of in the top 4 companies in the industry. Etisalat has that premium. The price is largely, I think, is the most expensive, but it also delivers a higher level of service in terms of its quality broadband solution. So Glo offers these cheap services across the spectrum by subsidizing even the voice telephony products. So if Mike Adenuga, the business icon that owns Glo, should bring Etisalat into Glo, he has acquired very, very solid middle upper class in the country. These are really the premium customers in the country. And if he brings them on board, and with the strong fiber infrastructure he has in the country, he can actually elevate his ARPU. And if that is the case, suddenly he'll be in a very good competitive position to actually challenge MTN because Mike Adenuga has the capacity to raise the capital if he needs to raise extra cash. He's a very rich man. I mean, this man worth essence of $6 billion according to Forbes. So he has that network. He's a businessman. He has proven over time that he can actually bring people together and they can give him the resources he needs to make a deal. But he cannot wait because MTN has been swallowing and picking up some very vital infrastructure in the market. MTN took Visafone and is going for multi-choice. So Glo has to act. And Airtel is there or there. It's just one of these companies, you don't know where it is. It cannot continuously just stay idle because this market is competitive. You have to look at consolidation. You have to look at operational quality. You have to look at productivity. An economy of scale is going to help to actually deliver services at a very, very competitive number when you have so many people sign up into the services. So economy of scale is critical, and that is why Glo making a deal with Etisalat makes a lot of sense. But there will be a regulatory challenge. Nigerian Senate may call them bluff. The Nigerian Labour Congress, a lot of things are just going to to happen because people will see that if Glo swallows Etisalat, the competitive dynamics is going to be diluted, and they have a point. So they have to overcome that. And the tier two players, Intel, SpectrumNet, these are companies less than 3 years old, or of course, about 7.5% market share. They also have to cry because if Glo gets into that position of scale, he can subsequently afford to further subsidize and use price to knock them out, just like they use price to take out Visaphone, take out Spraynet, take out Borders Telecoms. So all these companies can just one day all disappear. So at the end of the day, you may really have three companies. But nevertheless, we do believe that because of the specific position where Etisalat finds itself, NCC cannot help it because the banks have fiduciary responsibility to their stakeholders to get the money back. And the more Etisalat ways to pay this money, the more it continues to accumulate a lot of interest. So what it has to do is just to make a deal and sell itself up. And we know that Glo has the liquidity to be the only company relatively with that capacity to actually go into the market and raise any money it needs in order to make a deal happen. MTN already has a lot of issue with the fines, so you don't expect it to add. Airtel is losing money across Africa. I don't think Airtel would like to bring more capital from India and pump it into Africa. So at the end of the day, the only company that can save Etisalat is Glo. And that is why we think a deal in 2017 is going to happen. You are listening to Tekedia Daily.